So first things first, Louis, I've got an email here that I've been told I have to read out.
Oh, no. I know it's coming.
It's from my beloved regular co-host, Andy Datson. Because, of course, when he's not on the show, he's still got to be on the show somehow. So he's got an email here that's titled, Datson World Problem, Don't Open Until Show. I've now opened it. It says, Hi, Pete and Andy. First, I wanted to say I'm a huge fan of the podcast. You're both incredibly talented and charismatic. I wanted to submit my Datson World Problem today, so I hope you have time to read it out. You know the common problem when you're the host on a podcast and your co-host is just far too nice, hardworking, and just generally awesome? Man, I hate that. Why can't he just stop being so awesome? It's really getting on my nerves. Seriously, if the dickheads in the YouTube comments realized just how brilliant my co-host is, then they would all shut up and crawl back in their pits of misery and hatred they clearly live in. And I'm not finished there. Unfortunately, I can't do my hosting this week as I'm too busy raising money for children's hospitals and orphans. Link on Twitter. And I hate the fact that the person who offered to fill in for me is just as talented as my co-host. Why do you both have to be so nice and helpful? Are you trying to get in my pants? Because honestly, it's working. You know what? Screw this. I just want you to know how terrible, that's not the word he used, 2020 has been, but at least I know that once a week I'll be able to hang out with one of the best guys in the world on a Saturday morning. What's more, the website I also run wouldn't have the success it's had without the guy filling in for me in this week's show. You both suck at being bad people. Boo. Lots of love, Randy. Aww.
That is not where I expected that to go.
Not at all, but that is incredibly sweet. Thank you very much, Andy. You're great, and we love you very much.
Yeah, we do. That was when you said that Andy had an email. I was like, okay, this is going to be. There'll be some puns in there. There'll be some little quips at you and I. But it was actually very sweet. So thank you very much, Andy.
It was. Thank you, Andy. It must be the time of the year or something. But we've got some other emails here. Got one from. Oh, this is good. Oh, Do I want to save this for Andy? No, Andy's going to be listening anyway. He emailed in. He's going to be listening. So, I don't know if you've been listening to the SmackDown podcast lately, Louis. The podcast exclusive version.
I have better things to do.
Of course you do. The most consistently listened to podcast on WrestleTalk, by the way. That Andy has started going off recently about people's names being spelt wrong.
Louis.
Yep. Yeah. Because you have stuff like his argument was you have something like Amy, which is AMY, and then you have AIMEE, and he's like, that's just wrong. And I said, that's not wrong. That's how someone spells their name. You can't tell them that their name is wrong. It was a whole thing. But so now we've got some emails about wrong names.
Okay.
Got one here. It says, hi lads, hope you're all doing well. Never before in my life have I been so called out by someone. Never has someone made fun of my daily plight that I just had to email in. My name is Owen, which, along with Owen, is the Irish version of Owen and is pronounced exactly the same. So his name is spelt EOGHAN, and he said, along with EOIN. They're all pronounced Owen. While it is a very popular Irish name, my spelling, EOGHAN, is less common than EOIN, so people often write it down as the latter. It's gotten to the point where if anyone asks to take my name or email, I just have to spell it out for them because it irks me to see my name spelled incorrectly. Also, as I'm a student nurse, I've worked with a lot of people of different nationalities, so I've heard many different interesting pronunciations of my name. Some are reasonable, like Ian, Ewan, Evan. Others are absolutely ridiculous, like Eugene, Johan, and Iagahan. I'm not joking. I've literally been called those before. Sorry for the long email. Just felt compelled to share my own Datson World Problem, TM, about living with the inconvenience of a less common spelt name. Thank you to all of WrestleTalk for the brilliant content you guys have been putting out in this hellhole of a year. Hope you guys are staying well and that you all have a Merry Christmas. Love you. Bye. P.S. Pete, I finally got into D&D. Hell yeah. I always loved hearing your D&D stories with Laurie and the old NXT reviews, but was never able to be part of the game. When lockdown came, I decided now was the time to learn how to DM and run a campaign. I've since bought the PHP, DMG, and the Lost Minds of Fandelver, which I hope to run my first game with soon. Amazing. I've also learned a lot about DMing and game mechanics through watching Critical Role's second campaign, and it's bloody brilliant. I know, it's amazing. Spoilers, I'm not going to say what he's put there. Same dude, I also cried. How's your campaign been going in lockdown? We've not been playing. Sad boys. Any tips for someone starting out for running games not in person? Sorry, the scene was even longer now. For real this time. Love you, bye. Use Discord. Do whatever feels right. There's loads of ways you can play online. Some of them are really complicated. I think Roll20 is overly complicated, but just do whatever you can do. I literally use Microsoft Whiteboard and share my screen. It works for me. So yeah, loads of ways you can do it. Thanks for the email. Love it. Louis, any comments?
I'm going to share my own issues with my name.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not going to be a Datson anecdote where I go off for 15 minutes, but it's got to the point where I've considered, and my mum even suggested it, legally changing the spelling of my name to Louie.
Oof, man.
Because I've never been on... So when I do the media calls for WWE, AEW, whoever, I'm always introduced as Louis Dangle, like always. Even in school, it was like the first look down the register. Every year at school, it was Louis. Seminars at university, they're all Louis. So my mum was like, why don't you just change your name to Louie?
I mean,
yeah.
I'm surprised that you say it was in school and uni and stuff, because to me, that's Louis. That's not Lewis. I understand the American pronunciation of it because they have stuff like St. Louis. That's how they say Lewis. I get that. I'm very surprised to hear that about the UK stuff because that's just wrong.
So I went to France and they were doing like the passport control at the border. So get my passport and they're like, oh, Lewis, can you come forward so we can just check? I'm like, sorry, what? They're like, Lewis.
You're in France.
I'm like, it's a French name. And they're like, oh, it's like all you Brits call yourselves Lewis and spell it Louis. So we just all automatically say Lewis. I'm like, no, I'm Louis. But yeah, I sympathize with Owen because I'm often name spelt wrong, name pronounced wrong. And it isn't easy, but sometimes you just get past the point. Like he said, I just sometimes just don't correct people. I'm just like, yeah, it's Lewis.
Yes, I am now Lewis, yeah. I know how that feels. Do you know how many nicknames I've got? Crikey. Anyway, I've got another email here from Jack. It says, hey guys, it's Jack, the Moist Sensation. Great name.
Good name.
Yep. Hope you're all well, and thank you for tons of entertainment. You're very fun to listen to, and I actively look forward to your podcast dropping on Saturdays. I'm wondering if you guys are going to do an end-year review awardsy type thing. Do you have any fun SmackDown memories this year? What was the worst segment? Is it still that god-awful karaoke Lacey Evans heel turn? Yes, it is. A best show, maybe? Take care, lads, and Merry Christmas. We're not doing an awardsy thing. Well, I mean, on WrestleTalk, we're doing a few podcast episodes of doing like the best wrestlers of the year, stuff like that. It's just like in podcast form, there's going to be like 2 or 3 of us just chatting about what the best things are. However, if you want an award show, well, we've got that coming too over on Wrestling Daily on Wrestle2, which funnily enough, Louis Dangle is actually one of the co-hosts for. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, so it's going to be all of the hosts. It's going to be Alex McCarthy, Louis, Stephanie Chase, and SB3 from True Heel Heat hopping on. This will be on the 30th, I believe, of December.
30th. Yep.
And it will be all of them hopping on and doing an end-of-year awards show, essentially. So that's exactly what you're looking for. Go subscribe to Wrestle2. There you go.
So yeah, when that email was read out, I looked at Pete because I can see Pete, and I was like, I pointed to myself like, "Don't forget it, mention it." So yeah, it's something that we're very much looking forward to. It's going to be like a nice wrap up of the year, talking about our favorite moments, and we'll have some discussion and debate. We're gonna do it sort of like the Oscars, like an end of year awards. We're gonna dress up nice and have a nice end of year awards. So yeah, that'll be on the 30th of December, which I believe is a Wednesday, unless I'm going insane.
I think that will be about right.
Yeah, that will be on the Wrestle2 channel. So subscribe over there. And if you're not watching Wrestling Daily already, we are putting out, I'd like to say, very good content. And I hope you all that have listened agree. We seem to have built a really nice community over there where you guys dictate what we talk about. Like there'll be news that breaks during the show that someone goes, oh, have you heard so-and-so? And we'll go and look at it and digest it together. And I like that part of it, the community aspect of it. So if you're not watching Wrestling Daily already, head on over to Wrestle2. There'll be a special show on Monday at 9:30 UK time, so that's 4:30 US time, talking about TLC. So hopefully we'll see you all there, or some of you there at least.
And also, considering you're listening to a podcast, if you prefer to listen to stuff in podcast form, Wrestling Daily is also a podcast, which you can catch the day after. So, yeah, there's lots of ways for you to enjoy it.